The rules of Thai boxing or Muay Thai is what they are over there. So even if you're a little kid, it's still the same rules as if you're an adult. Wow. So still punches, kicks, knees, elbows, all to head.
At what age? Just any
whatever,
age?
Yeah, whatever age.
CT doesn't exist in Thailand.
A lot of kids start fighting to help families, money to support help with the families.
What sort of padding have they got? Because I know that you mentioned about...
No, that's what I mean. It's exactly the same rules and everything from kids to adults.
Welcome back to the Fit Dads podcast. I'm Brad, the Giraffe Thompson, and I'm joined as always by Ryan, Bike Guy Dutton. And you probably gathered this isn't his usual intro, because today we're joined by a man who knows exactly what it takes to reach the top of the mountain. Dan, the Machine Hudson, is...
Spill me water, splash myself in face.
It's effortlessly cool. Dan the Machine Hudson is a former world Muay Thai champion, a top class coach, a gym director, and a doting dad to two lovely girls. He might be known in the ring as the Machine, but in truth I know him best for his love of dad jokes and his terrible humour that rivals my own. Welcome to the Fit Dad podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Dan Hudson. How's things, mate?
Not bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for coming on, mate. We tried for this for a while. I really wanted to get you on, but I know you've been a busy boy. And I don't think I've ever really spoken about your achievements and much about your history. I just know you as someone who tells me terrible jokes every now and again.
I thought you liked them.
I do like them. That's the point. I have terrible jokes, but I do love them. But honestly, mate, I'm really chuffed to have you on. And I
appreciate you inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, and you are really humble, which I like. I really like it. Like, if I'd have achieved what you've achieved, I wouldn't be as humble as what you are.
Yeah, but people have done more.
People have always done more.
People have done more. Yeah, done more.
Funny. Yeah, I mean, for the sake of, I suppose, Ryan, the audience, let's take us back to day one, mate. Who is Dan Hudson?
Just it's way bad.
It's weird. I know. Yeah, it's hard. Like I said, humble, mate. The most humble man that I know.
Just a kid that liked kung fu films, and we watched superhero stuff growing up, and wanted to be like him. So went boxing with my uncle because he was a pro boxer, not like a big famous one. He'd had a couple of pro fights, and he stopped through an eye injury. So he used to take me boxing at Ingles gym it were back then, and I stopped that. I did that for a few years, stopped it and went to like a kickboxing stroke Thai boxing gym on Langsett Road. Did that for a while, then I again stopped. So I started against teenage years. I think we were about 6 or 7 when I first started, and then stopped just being a teenager. Then started going back when I was like 15, 16 to a boxing gym in Hillsborough. Then a Thai/boxing gym on Manor Top, and then I started going to a boxing gym on Effingham Road and stayed there. And I just did it because I like training and enjoyed just that, and ended up competing and just went from there. That was it, really. I didn't ever plan to compete. I was training. Yeah,
I think there's some of the best stories when people just fall into it, see they like it, maybe see carry over from boxing to Muay Thai. What were it about Muay Thai you enjoyed or still enjoy to this day?
Yeah, I just thought there was more to it than boxing. I did enjoy boxing, but I just thought there was more to Thai. Because you can do like kicks, knees, elbows, or grappling to it, and met some really good people there. I think I was kind of lucky because I was at a stage when there were a lot of like good people at the gym that I was at, and I was kind of lucky to get guided up by them, and I ended up being in this little group of people that were all competing like nationally, internationally, all at decent levels. So I think I was just very lucky time. I just landed on it then, yeah.
Make your own look, I've heard. Make your own look.
What was it about the Muay Thai that drew you in over the boxing? Because it's not, you had a little chat before we came on, and you said back when you were doing this, there wasn't the fame, there wasn't the kind of attention, there wasn't the publicity about Muay Thai, whereas boxing's always had that. What was it about boxing Muay Thai that drew you in?
Like I said, I just thought I'd do a little bit more to it, so you could do punches, kicks, knees, elbows, or grappling.
Yeah.
And it was like a bit cool because it weren't as well known.
Yeah.
So
you
like
not
many
people
feel.
So
not many people know about it. Yeah. So it was like his own little kind of group of people did it, and you met other people, like from different cities, and they did it, and you'd be like, oh, you do that, and it was kind of little connection because not many people did it at the time. I think there's a lot more people doing now, but it was a lot harder back then as well. There were no shin pads.
Wasn't no shin pads?
No shin pads.
Wow.
Okay. Spar without shin pads at a rate bad.
Jesus.
There'd be parts where you'd be sparring and you'd be blocking kicks and your shin would be gone, so you'd stop blocking, then your leg would go, and there's running kicking, you'd be like,
wow. That's like the proper Thai guys when you see them kicking those trees and chopping stuff down.
Trees.
Yeah.
Is that a myth, or is that an actual way of training that they do over in
I think
Thailand?
I probably did it years and years ago.
Fair.
I think it's more of a showcase thing now, but I don't.
Did you ever do the rolling pin down the shins?
Yeah, also. I don't know how much it actually works though, but yeah, we did also.
Not science-based this, it was just
I don't think it is. I'm sure somebody's must have done a study on it, but yeah, we just did hitting it with a little broom handle, rolling pin, balls, kicking heavy bags and pads mainly. That's what toughens your shins up. I think all other stuff you just end up doing because people tell, oh, you hear about it, don't you? See it on films. Yeah. Oh, you need to kick a palm tree.
Mention some kung fu films there as well. Have you got any favourites?
Kickboxer, just because of music, good soundtrack.
Yeah. Did you train to that a lot?
No, I've trained to rock music most of the time.
Fair.
Yeah, that rock music to train to. Trying to think what other ones were. So American Ninjas, they were always good. Yeah. And Chuck Norris's died as well. How bad's that?
Yeah, I thought he'd never die.
I thought it was a joke when I read about it.
Same. I was looking for punchline.
It was around the start of April, so wasn't it? I think he died. So I was a bit like, this has got to be an April Fool's joke, surely.
Yeah.
It's
a shame. But were there ever any pushback from family? Anyone who were like, you want to do what? You want to step in a ring and fight people? What you?
No, I don't think so. No, I can't remember. I know my mum and my sister didn't really like it, but they never said, don't do it. They were just...
They'll never be down for you being aggressive and fighting.
Yeah.
No one likes seeing their little boy get punched in the face, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My sister went to one and said she'll never go to another one. I never did.
Didn't like it that much?
No, I didn't like it, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I sent you a clip, didn't I, before today about, like, look, just to give you an idea, here's a few clips of, Dan doing his thing. And I had to rewatch it because I think I forgot, because I just know you as... like Dan, like my mate, and it feels a bit weird to see you like elbowing in people, and I'm like,
don't you me first?
yeah, that's true. It's like, this is mutual.
I was going to say, when the bell goes, you wait for him to throw the first one.
No, not so there. Yeah, but his style kind of changed over years. So I started off being a lot more on back foot and trying to counter, and then you kind of start fighting and you start upping your levels and you start fighting people that are good. And a lot better than you, and you kind of see what you're like, I need to get to that because they're so much quicker than me, technically better, faster, hit me harder. So then you try to up your level, and then your level ups, then you do it again, and sometimes it's a bit of a shock to your system that when you're stepping with someone that's like a lot better than what you are.
Yeah. But I think that's the exciting thing about competition, isn't it? When you step in the ring with someone, you get humbled a little bit. Yeah. And you go away and you go, I want to be that good.
Yeah. I need to stay.
Yeah. And it just fuels everything. You go back and your training's fueled, your discipline, your motivation, your ability to push harder because you realise there's guys out there that are way better than I am.
Well, everyone says, don't you learn more from a loss than you do from a win? Yeah. It's because you don't look at wins. You win, you're like, I've won, and you go party and do whatever. When you lose, you're like, what happened? So I always think you should be looking at your wins, same as though you look at your losses. Like, what worked for me in that one? What didn't work? What do I need to work on? Did I do anything silly? There's a few things that you do in fights where you're like, what happened there? Why did I do that?
In regards to Muay Thai as well, for the sake of the listener, like sometimes you see like K1 and stuff next to it. Would you talk us through, I suppose, the broad scope, that style of martial art, like where it originates from?
I think Thailand's from Thailand, from Thailand. Sorry, Muay Thai's from Thailand. It's their national sport. It's massive over there. It's 5 3-minute rounds, punches, kicks, knees, and clinching. So you can't hit and hold someone. No grappling on the floor. No strikes on the floor, but if you throw something when somebody's going down, as long as you've thrown it before they hit the floor, that still counts as a strike. If they're on the floor and you hit them, then you get point or disqualified depending on what happens to him. K1's limited clinch, if any clinch, no elbows. That's the main difference. It's usually faster pace K1, it's usually like 3 rounds. Fair. Thai's usually 5, yeah.
I mean, 5 3-minute rounds with someone who's trying to elbow, knee, do anything they can to get you on the ground and stop you is pretty savage.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
What's the significance of those little things you wear around the top of the elbow? You know, those little
padros. Yeah, but they're all like kind of.
Is that part
rooted in like when it used to be like first? Yeah, like your thick moncon that you wear on your head. They used to wear them to fight.
What's it called?
Moncon. That's what they wear on their head.
Moncon.
Yeah, and then padros on their arm. That's what they used to wear when they used to fight. You were like blessed by monks and stuff. Where it's just kind of kept tradition at sport. Same as music that's being played.
Yeah.
That would like your time to try and get fighters to move quicker if they're slowing down the speed music up.
Oh, really?
If you listen to music, it starts getting quicker towards the end of the round.
Wow. Does it?
But in Thailand, they have like proper bands playing it and stuff. So it's just like a reminiscence of the old.
I didn't even know there was music playing like that. That's strange because you wouldn't get that at a boxing match, would you?
No.
It's silent.
There's some like one championship stopped doing it if having to try and get a bigger Western audience.
Right, okay.
Because like, it's not very well known, but it got a massive audience base. You know, like Asians, there's a lot of them around.
It's their main sport in Thailand.
National sport in Thailand. Yeah, so loads of people watch it over there. Japan's getting like they're doing well. They have like more of a kickboxing type one, but K1's from Japan. That were really popular over there.
Cool.
So there's massive audiences for them over that neck of woods.
Fair. I'm trying to compare it to like basketball when they play music when things are going. Like obviously they almost make like a little bit of jesty joke about it, but if the music speeds up towards end of round, that's really interesting.
Try and get them to pick it up.
I've been to a few boxing matches, and I think one of the nice things about it being silent is you can hear that pad. You can hear that pad hit them in a certain way. Even when it's the body, you can just tell when it's landed differently. I can imagine with music, you're not quite as in tune with like the power or how much each punch kick is connected.
It's a big betting culture in Thailand as well, so it's like fights are better. I think it's like the only place that you can bet in Thailand, I think, in boxing rings.
Wow.
In boxing stadiums, sorry.
Wow.
I might not be interested about that, I think it's something similar like that.
Yeah.
So they have like the fights, they're always setting up bets. And then sometimes you'll see, they don't really do much round 1 and 2, round 3 and 4 they seem to fight, and then round 5, sometimes some don't concede because they're fighting again next week, so they're like, oh, you won that. So then they kind of go back to sparring again.
That's
which is
really
weird
about Muay Thai. So they a lot of the main guys, whatever the professionals over in Thailand, they don't actually train much because they're fighting like 3-4 times a week, aren't they? A lot of them.
Usually every other week, but sometimes every week, depending how much money they need. And
that's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every week you're having a fight, a proper scrap with someone who's there to knock you out. 52 fights a year. Imagine that.
That's what I've seen with like hundreds and hundreds of fights. Like over here, there'll be more now people, but it's still nowhere near what they did.
Yeah.
They have the rules of Thai boxing or Muay Thai is what they are over there. So even if you're a little kid, it's still the same rules as if you're an adult.
Wow.
So still punches, kicks, knees, elbows, all to head.
At what age? Just any
whatever,
age?
Yeah, whatever age. I mean, I think it's a weight that they have to weigh, but even that, I reckon's a bit.
CT doesn't exist in Thailand.
No, there's so remember. And a lot of kids start fighting to help families, money to support help with the families.
I've heard that as well. I mean, because even in the younger sports, or the younger ages, you can get quite a lot of money from what I hear. Like people will watch that. That's wild that you'll tune in to watch like 2 8-year-olds go fucking at it.
Yeah, that's a good effort. What sort of padding have they got? Because I know that you mentioned about.
That's what I mean. It's exactly the same rules and everything from kids to adults. In UK, it's not. They'll have like shin pads on, big gloves, body armour and stuff. Like we used to perform, I don't know if they still do head guards, but there used to be head guards in amateur at one bit. Kids, obviously, no head contact in Thailand, it's none of that. Is.
Wow. Fair play.
You know that's going to be a tough upbringing.
Yeah.
Or a tough life for your child if you get him into kickboxing in Thailand then.
Yeah, like they'll stop going to school and stuff to do it.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's mad, yeah.
Before we, I suppose, dive into a little bit more about the history of Muay Thai, I'm dying to know about the nickname. Because anywhere that I turned online, it was always like Dan the Machine Hudson. Is that something you come up with, or is it somebody else?
No, actually, if I remember rightly, I weren't ever used when I thought that it was. When me and one of my friends were at uni, we did a training video thing, and I think he put it on that. And I think he just, they weren't ever having a nickname that.
It is a common, like, when I speak to people about you, they always say, like, oh, yeah, you were a machine, Dan. You just always move forward. It were, like, programmed to just keep moving forward, turning, follow wherever they were going. I think it's quite applicable, seeing a few of your fights, that, you know, it is very mechanical, where they just, like, what are you thinking during fights and during...
I hope it didn't hit me. Please go down.
Please go down. Make this quick.
I remember in a rematch with a French kid called Abdul Touré, I think it was his second name, and he caught me in. We had a first fight, and he caught me in a right crap cut, and doctor took ages and messed around. So referee had stopped it because I went corner to it. I went doctor too long, and referee were like, "He went doctor, you're taking too long, and he was like, you can't even see the scar. That's how crap it were." And so he won, and then we had an interview after. And he goes, if you want, he said revenge, but I think he meant rematch, because obviously his English wasn't his first language, we're French. And he said, I'll fight you again whenever. So like, yeah, no worries. So I walked off from the interview. We set fight up, and I dropped him in second round thinking where we need to head. And I remember thinking, get up, I hope you get up. And he got up, and about 2 seconds later, I was like, oh my God, I wish I hadn't got up. I should have stayed down. Yeah. I was so tired. But yeah, that was a good fight. Really, that's all I carried on talking to him for few years after. They used to messages at each other every now and then. So that's like nice thing about it. Sometimes you end up like speaking to other fighters, like, you know, people that you fight with, and you carry on speaking to them after. Sometimes like you love each other out, so there might be some advice being passed across about who you're fighting next, or what they thought, what worked well against you, what they did. But yeah, really nice setup though. Yeah.
It's interesting that, isn't it? Because you get that a lot in like football as well. But the only thing with football is it's not as aggressive, and you're not kicking someone's head in and then shaking around afterwards and asking, you know, have you got next week? You're right. It's a complete switch. It's a bit like rugby players. They can go from like smashing into each other, and when after the pitch they have a pint and stuff. And I always struggle with that even playing football. Just turning that kind of like thing off. I'm like, you're the enemy. You're the other team. I always struggle with that, but. You're going to take the piss out of me now, but I've been watching The Furies, At Home with the Furies on Netflix.
Same, yeah.
And there's a bit where Tyson Fury meets up with, who's that guy from London?
Derek
Chisora. And they've had like 5-6 fights, and they just sat on the table laughing and joking. And I just find that really weird. Like, if tomorrow they said we're going to fight each other for 20 million apiece, they would do. They go to war, and you'd have to knock this guy out and humiliate him and get him on the canvas, and then you can go for a meal with him afterwards. It just fascinates me, that.
I'd fight you for 20 mil.
Yeah, I'd fight you. Yeah. And I probably would have a pint with you afterwards.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But if that's any consolation, right? Yeah. I won't fight Dan for 20 mil.
No, I probably wouldn't actually.
You'd be out with your long legs and long arms, you.
I would fight him. I'm not. We everyone win, by the way. Absolutely trashed.
I reckon,
20 mil.
I reckon I'd do like a 45-minute 10k just running down the ring, just trying to get away from Dan. Obviously, I briefly mentioned in intro about that World Championship and how that sort of progressed. I remember knowing you for like 2 or 3 years, and then someone being like, "Oh yeah, Hudson, we're world champion," and I'm like, "Why has he not led with that?" I'd be like, "I'm Dan Hudson, former world Muay Thai champion." I think that speaks absolute testament to you. Like I said, much better man than what I'd be. What was that like? That sort of build up to those world championship level fights.
It's a bit weird that when you first start fighting, it's hard because it's the unknown. So you're like worried about what's going to happen. Are you going to look stupid? Are you going to forget stuff? Are you going to fall over? Do you know? So you worry about that. Then when you start getting better, you still get nervous because you've seen people fight. So you're like, oh, can I fight him? And he's knocks on so hard, or he does this, he looks very hard, or whatever it is. And your world title fights are just like that. Sometimes it might be someone that you don't know very well. Sometimes people that you do know. But remember back then as well, YouTube weren't like it were, so you couldn't find stuff out. You had to like rely on people telling you, or somebody sending you something like on a video or DVD or something like that. So it weren't as easy to find out information as what it is now. You kind of had to rely on other people to go in, oh, he's really good at this, or I've seen him fight, or you might have seen him fight. Where now you can like Google a lot of stuff.
It sounded less nerdy back then, whereas now, like you said, if you want to find something out about someone, there's videos. Whereas I suppose you've just got to go off of just being better than them in general, and on the day, maybe tactics being better, adapting in live time.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like a visual sport, and you're kind of working out patterns of movement and like tells on people. And it's funny as well because Thai is different to like your boxing and stuff, because you go from being very visual to when you're clinching, it's all about feel and where's the weight, what they're doing, where they're trying to pull you, how strong are they. So you end up going from like just watching, like 100% focused watching, to being, you can do clinching with your eyes closed because it's all about feeling. So that's kind of a weird difference, but you're trying to pick up patterns of movement of what people are doing. What's he like doing? What's his go-to? So if you look at all fighters, they've got something that they're good at, and all their game plans worked around that. Some people are quite good because can adapt and change, but pretty much dominantly they've got a foundation of stuff that they're good at, and everything works around that foundation of stuff.
I suppose it's looking at principles, isn't it, and trying to figure out, right, where do they rank according to like what I'm good at, where are the weaknesses. I mean, that sounds like a huge challenge. There is, I think it's your world title fight that's actually on YouTube, and I think you can see your intro. Again, very traditional Thai sort of entrance. Do you want to talk us through that in terms of the music? I remember introducing it to PT team that I used to work with. And they were just like, why has Dan got that headband on? Why has Dan got that arm? Things like
Tennis
that. Yeah. What was, talk us through that intro. I know it's very traditional in your approach. You like to pay your respects, didn't you?
Oh, do you mean like the runway and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just again from like a traditional background. Gym where I was at, which were Wicker Camp, they're very traditional, so it's what we did. So you do their runway. Because that's, I like paying homage to like your coach, your teacher. I think it used to be like years ago from, you kind of represented what gym you were, what area you were from in Thailand. Now it's more to do with what gym you're from. And I say it's just a reminiscence from past that the people carry on doing. There's loads of different ones. There's some quite cool ones.
Yeah. I know Wicker's it's got a great reputation. Really good reputation. I remember asking you about, look, I'd love to get Ted into some sort of martial arts. Will you send me some information? Did a bit of research on Wicker Camp, and I'm watching it with Ted, and then they're going through like, oh, you know, they've got all these world champions. They listed them off, and then your name was on there, and Ted's ears pricked up. He's like, is that Dan? Is that Dan who I know? So it's just for me, you can see that legacy's there. Sounds like they've had a lot of world champions come out of Wicker. Yeah,
they've had a lot of good coaches have come out of it as well. Like, just feel like Christian Lee, they all like coaching. They've got their own places. They all do stuff now, and then there's still coaches that are still there. They're still working there, still doing stuff. Got a good kids program there as well.
Amazing. Who would you say is the biggest? Well, a few of the biggest influences on your fighting career? I know you've spoken about a few people there, a few coaches who are bringing you through. Is there anyone who you can pay homage to right now?
No, all of them that helped, because it was funny. You used to get videos and watch certain fights that were fighting, and so I used to watch like Raymond Decker. He was one of my favourite fighters to watch, just because he's quite aggressive and going forward. And then training buddies or coach wise, all that team were just a good team. Everyone helped each other. Like there's Lee, Christian, Wes, Pete, Thomas, Jim, Bob, James, Daz. There were loads of us. Can't think who else. Ellen, Trich, there were that many people, and there was a group of us that all fought at I wasn't at the time, but it's come up where we all fought like international. Then the group below that all fought high national level. Then the group below that all fought like national, medium national level or new. And then there were another group of kids that just used to like to come and help you. And like you'd be tired because you've been training all week, and then they'd come on sparring on Friday and be like, come on, let's have a good go. And you'd be like, training all week. And then that was their little thing. They never fought, but they're just tough kids that just like to be there, part of it. And I think that when they say you fight, like, oh, I helped him do that, and they just like that. They didn't want to fight. Some kids didn't like it who tried it and just didn't like it, but they were still good. So they would like it. Was just a big group. And what was good about it is when we finished training, we'd have a go. There'd be like certain times we'd go on runs or we'd be in changing rooms, and everyone would talk, and they'd be like, so-and-so keeps catching me this, what do you do? And you go, I do this to stop him doing that. Which made you better because your favourite technique or what you could land on most people start stopping you do it. So you had to kind of adapt it and go, why, that used to work all the time, why is that not working now? So you'd have to try and adapt it, which made you better. And it's because everyone was talking and going, what do you do when he does that? Right, I do this, right, I'm going to try it. So that was kind of cool because it made a good team, and everyone kind of, I don't think we even realised we were doing it. We were all making each other better and trying to outdo each other a little bit. In a friendly way, we weren't being nasty to each other. Although it sometimes felt like it when you're sparring hard.
It gets personal.
Yeah, when someone hit you hard and you're like,
Yeah. You hear that though with a lot of gyms everywhere. It's an ethos around competition, isn't it? John Jones, the UFC guy, springs to mind because he's got 2 brothers.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
And one of them's, are they both in the NFL?
I think so, yeah.
And you can just imagine that household when they
know,
were younger.
like
Just the
right,
competitiveness, the ability to like take beatings and just be outdone. I bet it was like constant every day, morning till like evening, every day, just competition. I'm better at this, I'm better at that. And it's instilled in you to like not lose and to want to win.
Well, I've got like 2 girls, one's only really young, but when we're around at friends' house, if they've got boys, you can tell like boys they're a lot more lively than what girls are.
Yeah.
Girls like can be a bit feral, but lads are just like a lot more lively, aren't they? You've got a boy and got a girl, have you?
I've got a girl, we're both eldest to 3 boys, and you know, in those households, same thing, there was a lot of competition, but I think I was always, my brothers don't listen to this, so we're alright, but I think I was always a bit more bigger and physical than my brothers, so I never really had that like competition of the younger lads coming up and doing me over, but I've got a boy on the way, so I do wonder what that dynamic will be like, because Harlow's quite boisterous, she's quite feisty, so I do wonder whether she's gonna, you know, and I want to get her into something like that. I took her to an MMA class, but she didn't really stuck with it. I'm wondering whether to get into something like Muay Thai, because I don't know, when we've had loads of chats about like the manosphere. I'm not sure if you watched that, the Louis Theroux documentary.
No, but I've seen some other stuff on that, and
it's just the thoughts and ideologies around young men at the moment is fascinating, and I just want my girl to be protected and like know how to handle herself in a world where there's going to be some blokes with some weird, fucked up views in the future.
I think there always has been. I think there's a lot now where lads are trying to find, or blokes trying to find a place where they fit. But then I think stuff like that, it's people trying to cash off it. So I don't know, they might not actually believe what they're saying. It's just a thing where they cashing on it. And also, does he dramatise stuff? Like put music on it, editing it right? We're not seeing like a full picture. So have they just gone, oh, do this or do that? Or have they tried to edit it a little bit? I don't know. I just think I don't believe in a lot of shit that I see now. I think it's...
I think you're right to do that. I think you're right to question it all, because anything can be edited to a certain extent.
Yeah. There's too much crap goes on now, I just think...
But I've known about a few of the guys on the series before they were even on that show of Louis Theroux's, and just nasty pieces of work, basically. Just not nice people in any shape or form, with women, with the peers, with anyone. There's no respect at all from any of them.
People don't get punched in the face, though.
That basically is it. Yeah, like 100%. I think not enough people like get a smack in the face, and it seems that's going to get clipped up horrendously.
Not enough people get battered.
Yeah, but I do think there's something to that. I think that actually being put in your place, and that's why I think, you know, men keep other men in check, don't they?
Yeah, but there's a lot of fears about that, isn't there? Just get cancelled nowadays.
Oh man, the things we've said in this podcast, mate. Like, if we haven't been cancelled yet,
so there's a lot of crazy into that kind of like single mums raising lads as a high percentage of them going to prison, doing like being involved in sexual offences and stuff like that. That's not me either. Everyone, it's been informed by that. Like reliable stuff.
These are stats.
And then there's also like people spend. I really like listened to a podcast the other day, and they were saying. They were talking about psychology one. The lads, like you just said, aren't keeping each other in check anymore. So they'll be online, message them, not face to face, just like, hey, should. Yeah. That just goes, there's no like consequence to it. Where if we're out and we're having a drink or we're doing something, you start chatting to a girl and she's like, no. We'll be like, don't be a dick. Come on.
Yeah.
Or you'll say, you were a rape sex pest last night.
Yeah.
You might get tormented about it, but it resonates with you and be like, actually, I don't want that like verbal abuse again off of your mates. Yeah, so you do kind of keep yourself in check.
Behind closed doors, guys can get up to weird shit with like messaging and I'm really naive. I'm really wet behind the ears and naive to all this shit as well, because it's not until there was I'm about to dish some dirt here. So there was a female PT at the gym we go to who doesn't work there anymore. Okay. And she started going out with one of the members. And one of the members was not a good mate of mine, but you know, we were friendly, we were chatting. And we were on the cardio machines one time, and he just started dating her. And we were talking about how's it going, how's things. She goes, it's all right, you know, all kind of stuff. And he says, you wouldn't believe how many lads in here and messaging her.
Wow.
And I said, really? I go, well, I mean, she was one of the better looking PTs in there, so you can imagine it. But like, he goes, he was naming some names. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, honestly, like, you wouldn't believe the amount of lads
dropping lyrics into DMs.
behind closed doors, just getting into her Insta DM. I was like, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but I'm just, and some names shocked me, to be fair, people that were doing it, but I just thought, yeah, guys get up to some weird shit behind closed doors, don't they? They do. And that's the stuff where other blokes don't put them in check. Like, that's exactly right. If you're out with your mates and you're out on the town and your mate's been a bit of a pest of a girl, you can't just give him a slap around there and say, come on, mate. There's 100 other women out tonight. Go and pick your look somewhere. She don't want you. Come on, stop being a weirdo. Whereas if you're in your bedroom messaging, like, isn't that, it gets a little bit sinister to a certain degree.
Right, I remember going back to like college and uni, but I went back later. I didn't go straight from school. I was competing. I went back towards back end, me finishing competing, and I remember lads going on about sharking on Facebook, and I think it was called that. And I was like,
sharking,
what's that? And I went, just fan lads, just message him. I'm like, really? Like, yeah. I'm like, that's right weird. And they're like, no, just do it.
Yeah.
It's right weird.
I've never been into that. I've never, I don't know what it is. I've never been like that much of a pest with it.
Especially from like initial contact as well. Like, if you're carrying on contact, do you know what I mean? Like, no, you hang up. You know, that's that sort of vibe. But if you've not got that confidence to maybe approach someone initially, like, I'm going purely off, like, you know, observational stuff here. I've been with Amy for a long time, but still, it's observationally. I don't know. Like, I did martial arts for a long time, and that discipline that it gives you, you sort of realise that, okay, I think I can look after myself, but I don't want to take my chances. I need to control my mouth as well as my body.
When we're speaking about that, like at gym, if there were anyone that comes that were a bully at gym, they always got sorted out because there's always someone bigger than you, and they either stop coming or they like kind of learn that they can't just go picking on people and start getting a bit more respectful. And
you see that in gym today. Like, it was very similar, that theory, when I moved from JD gyms just off Queen's Road, and I started training at Station Gym. And it annoyed me for a while, that JD gym, because it was like, I couldn't work out what it was. There was just a lot of egos, a lot of guys walking around with their arms out here, carpet style.
Peacocking.
Just doing weird shit. I can remember one guy, right, he used to walk around with this like proper stringer Gold's Gym style vest on. He had a bandana, right? Yeah. And he used to have one of those guys, like, you know, just on the Smith machine, racking up as much as he could, couldn't actually bench anything. And then he'd be like, there was some bags in the corner, and every now and again when he'd pass him, he'd just high kick it. And I was on the cardio machine one time, I'd just seen him, there was like a bit of a rig, you know, a CrossFit style rig with like, you know, shelves, and there was some like sandbags up top on one of the high shelves. And I could just see him like high kicking this sandbag and like, you're giving it some of that. And I was just watching it, I was like, I'm done with this gym. I can't keep coming in watching idiots just peacock. I can't do it anymore. And I was like, right, I need to find somewhere new. And I just seen this Station Gym. And as soon as I went down there, it were people who properly wanted to train.
Until he saw me on punch bag. I kicked punch bag.
It's him again. I followed him.
That was me. I used to train in a bandana.
But then when I went to, and I remember mentioning this story to Phil, the owner, who's obviously been England's strongest man, right? But been to Britain's. Like, this guy's, you know, the strongest in the city, or was the strongest in the city, right? And he says, when you come here, there is no like power vacuum like there is at JD Gym. Everyone knows that the big guys are. You're not going to mess with them. There's a bloke there deadlifting 350 kilos. He's bench pressing 200 kilos. You know, you're not going to mess with those blokes. You're not going to peacock. You're not going to try and show off, because there's a real clear hierarchy. And it's a really nice environment where you can almost go and learn and approach people. And if I went to that guy and said, how do you bench press 200 kilos? He'd go, well, what do you bench now and where are you? And he gives you some help. Whereas I think in a JD gym, there's not that community. And I think that's one of the nice things about those kind of real, you know, down-to-earth local gyms, whether it is a weights gym, whether it is a boxing gym, Muay Thai gym. There's a community, and obviously you've, you know, experienced that with your sport.
People are just trying to find a place to fit, aren't they? And like, people, like, obviously I don't know the lad that you're talking about, but he's probably just trying to find somewhere to fit. He's trying to muddling himself through his life as like everyone is, and he's he thinks, I'll just do this, maybe wants to do a bit of attention, some people do. So, it's just, then you've got to try, like, understand where people are coming from and like what's he doing? I don't have to try and you don't have to understand people, do you? But everyone's just trying to muddle along most of the time. Yeah,
It's funny
some people like front it out a little bit better than others. But
I think there's a lot of like young single guys in there as well, and that's what it was. And then when I actually moved from JD to Station, I was telling a few lads about I used to train, and a few of them had been down there before, and they were like, "Oh, birds in there are right good, aren't they?" And I remember thinking, I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, yeah, compared to here, where it's all like birdie blokes, it's probably the better standard. And if you're single, it's probably where you would go.
Yeah.
But when you go there and you're trying to, if you are like on the pull in the gym, you're probably doing this weird shit trying to impress. Like, it's funny how what blokes thinks impress girls. Do you know what I mean?
Handbrake turns impress girls.
What's that?
Handbrake turns.
Handbrake turns, yeah. And being domestic, that's what I've heard. That's what I've not been told to say that. I mean, going back to what Ryan said about, I suppose, asking for like advice in gyms and that sort of stuff. Did you get asked any common questions when you were in camp and when you're actually training, apart from why do you keep punching me there?
No, but I probably did, but I can't think offhand like any particular thing. Just general stuff as people ask you, like what, like maybe like I don't know, Igelandese, or what do you do to stop people doing that? Like I said before, we used to talk about it a lot after training, but I can't think of anything offhand that people ask me a lot.
What did training look like? You mentioned about maybe the people on like a Friday who come in, they were never going to compete, but they just love the sport. But what did your sort of training routine look like when you were, in the heights?
So depending what fight we're coming up to, because I did a few tournaments as well, which is more than one fighting one day. So that training was slightly different. Used to sometimes we train before work, Thai wise, and then we do it after. We used to do long runs, and I swapped long runs out for sprints because that works better for me. And then strength and conditioning, two, 3 times a week, and that'd either be one morning, or if we're doing competitions, it'd be before I did Thai or after. Sometimes before, because then it fatigued me for Thai, and that were kind of more. I try and replicate. If I'm tired after first round, I mean second round, can I like what I'm going to do to keep going? Like how can I kind of manage my energy system and keep it going so I'm not gassing out and getting knocked out.
And that's a big passion of yours, S&C, so we'll probably come on to that in a little bit. But have you got any more questions about Dan's fighting exploits before?
I guess like just how did you transition out of it? Like what was the moment where you were like, I'm done with this now, I know.
I did enjoy my last fight.
Did
it cost me like we're a tournament to get into a TV, like a reality TV show. Money were going to be quite good, because you don't get paid very well. And I just didn't want to be there. And it's probably best we've ever been tried. Like best interviews, nice event. We got took around, we got fed and stuff, and I just didn't want to be there.
So this was you auditioning almost for a reality TV show.
It were an 8-man tournament, so you have 8 down to 1.
And what did the winner get?
He got to go on TV show.
What was the TV show?
Contender Muay Thai, I think it were.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It weren't. It was the second series, but then that got messed up and it got delayed a little bit. Right. He still did it. He did all right, and it got to the final. Yeah. A lad from Leeds called Jonah. Well, he got to the final.
You were in that, and you knew I don't want to be anymore.
I just didn't want to be there.
How old were you then?
Can't remember. Late 20s.
Late 20s. Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't.
What was it about the fact that you didn't want to be there? Was it you just...
I think I was bored of everything. I was bored of training, bored of dieting.
Was it?
Yeah, I think I was just bored of it all. Yeah. So I've been competing for like 9-10 years at the time. Yeah, no, just remember being in this limo and the whole fights and everyone were having a laugh. And it were funny. And I was thinking I should be enjoying this more. I was like laughing, but inside I was like, I just don't want to be here. And then I messed my weight up because I got injured before it. So I pulled my calf before fight, so I thought I was going to be really heavy. So I cut my calories down even more.
Okay.
Nutrition were very bad to know about them because nobody knew.
Yeah.
So I cut my calories down even though I ended up like...
Was this in Thailand or just over here?
I can't think where it were now. Rather in UK, but I can't remember where it were. Like Wolverhampton now, where it was. I can't remember where it were.
Okay.
So I probably get punched in face.
Well, that's another thing that I want to come on to. Like, do you feel today any of the repercussions this career you've had? Do you feel like, obviously CTE is a massive thing spoken about in today's world in certain sports. Do you feel like you feel any of the effects of that? Has it impacted you, like physical, mental health at all?
I think boxing's worse because it's more impact at head. So you get it all over. So a competition tight's like being in a car crash. So you're like, it's not just your face your face might look all right, but your side hurts, your leg hurts, your elbow might hurt. Do you know? So it's you're in random places. So it's a bit like a car crash where you get out and you're like, oh my god, that hurts. But you might look okay in your face. Where I think boxing's more head focused. I was saying to you, there were a point where I thought, like not long after I competed, towards end, I thought I was getting a bit punchy because I kept like losing words and being like, where's that word? What's that word I'm thinking of now?
Short-term memory.
Yeah, so I thought, I was a bit like, am I getting a bit punchy here?
Yeah.
But I think your body repairs itself all right, don't it?
Yeah. You seem all right anyway.
Yeah,
you seem all right.
Yeah.
What would you say worst injuries that you've had? I know you've mentioned like pulled calf, and you said like a big cut in one of the first fights with the French guy.
Like cuts are just we're crap cut like that worst one. I've got worse ones, but that were a crap one from a French kid. And a good scar, don't you? You've been about it. Tell a tale.
Scars are stories. That's it. Yeah. That's what I always tell Ted anyway.
Chicks dig scars, don't they?
But I mean, any breakages, anything like that? Have you ever broke anybody's bones from like? Because you see horror clips, don't you? Where people just like cracked in shin.
Yeah, I brought my mate once.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Why are you smiling?
Because it was funny.
All right.
It was his fault.
Fair. Okay.
So there's a thing where I said if you kick someone's arm, you can break it. I always thought, I didn't think it was true. I thought you can't kick someone's arm and break it, but if you start thinking about like how you built, it does make more sense. These only little, aren't they, compared to your leg? And we were sparring, and he said, "Don't go easy on me." And I'm like, all right. And then he curled up, and I kicked him once, and he stayed where it was. So I kicked him about 4 times, and then after we were like, "One sec." And he didn't think he'd broke his arm, so again, he was like me, no, surely you can't do that. But then we used to do weights together as well, and we were benching. And he goes, my arm still hurts. He goes, I can hear it clicking. I'm like, I think you might need to get that seen to.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing it, and because he'd not got it was apparently fixing and then snapping again, fixing and snapping again.
Oh, Jesus
so
Christ.
So we had to have an operation on it a bit out of his hip, put into his arm, and he's got a scar. No.
Wow.
So it's nice
so he broke his arm and he was still bench pressing.
Would he consider a tattoo on his scar saying like Hudson was here?
I asked to sign it for him, but he not took me up on it.
Yeah, I love this sort of like fighters or any sort of public servant. Like they've got this sort of humour where it's like, I don't know, I just like how dark it is. But it's like, I just broke someone's arm, and I could see that. I knew there was a story behind it. I could just tell. There is, isn't there? Like when people get their ribs cracked. It's like you just get pissed off, can't you? Yeah, I've heard that's horrendous, by the way. Yeah, just ribs. But you ever broken ribs, Ryan?
No, I've not broken much, really. Fingers, broken a few of those, toes. Nothing major, though. No.
Sometimes you don't know your ribs broke, though, as well, because it's just so... So like my side's so you're like, shut up, you funny.
Yeah, just crack on.
Yeah, it's when I breathe. Shut up.
You're tired. You're tired. Yeah, I can imagine
so
that's
not. To make you a story like let's go on with training. But yeah, so that's always fun because then you chocolate ribs and stuff in it. You're all right, you took somebody. You're all right, ribs all right.
I think ribs are one of those ones that once they go though, they're very prone to going because they're quite small and brittle. There's a guy that I coach who's underwater hockey player, and when they're in the water and they're kicking off and they're pushing each other, he's had his ribs broke like 4 or 5 times.
You can't get away with that. Underwater hockey.
Underwater hockey. Yeah. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
I'll show you a video. He sent me some videos afterwards. It's wild. It's like a puck. So it's like imagine like a Pond's Forge 3-meter pool. You got a puck on the bottom, and they all have these little kind of like mini hockey sticks. They're like it's like almost like the size of my finger there.
Oh, I've seen that actually. I've seen
you've got like goggles, and you go down and you hold your breath, and you go round a bit. Wow. There's a net on one side, net on the other side, and you got to get in. But the puck's like weighted, so it stays on the bottom. So they're all bobbing up and down like this, trying to get it.
Sounds like a terrible spectator sport.
Everyone drops down. I don't think you can tell what's going on. But one guy had like a bit of a GoPro on his goggles and filmed it, so you get like a bird's eye view. It's really cool. I'll send it you.
Can you write that down?
Underwater.
But anyway, he had his ribs kicked in because obviously you can imagine it when they're kind of all together when they're kicking off. And he says he's had a few times where a couple of times he's broke it, where he's just like fallen into something drunk and he's broke his ribs like innocuously. but it's because they've gone so much. And I think it's the same with getting knocked out, isn't it? They reckon that once you've been knocked out so many times, there's something in your kind of like spine where it connects to your head that just once it goes, you got like a glass jaw, don't they? You get a glass jaw.
You see it actually a lot with fights where you see some fights where they get hit by a brick and they don't go down the next minute.
Yeah,
they're falling over with like lies to touch. There's no ethical study that you can do on that one, is there?
Yeah,
punch me in face, this power, to see how long it takes.
One of those iron necks going.
Yeah.
I mean, if the enhanced games are a thing, I feel like throw enough money at people, they might, you never know probably what you're going to, who knows. You mentioned a little bit about food as well and making weight and cutting, like nutritionally speaking. What did that look like?
Horrendous back then.
Okay.
Not because not anyone's fault, it was just we didn't know. So everyone was like kind of plodding along and going, oh, I've tried this, I've done this, or like trying to train on like a tin of tuna and a boiled egg and stuff because you're trying to lose weight. Remember eating that much tuna that I couldn't even look at it without feeling sick. So then I had to mix it with anything to just take flavour away. And then I just stopped eating it because it took me ages to get back eating it again.
I'm getting fish and rice cake guy.
Yeah, you were like that, yeah. I mean, we didn't have rice cakes even back then. Back in the day, no rice cakes.
No rice cakes.
I remember two lads making cabbage soup or something and like leaving it on side for ages and they start stinking. And the flat starts stinking because it was going up.
Oh, wow.
And they just kept like warming it up and having some. Yeah, very funny.
This is the price you pay for, making weight, I suppose. And
then like someone would get like a book and be like, oh, I've got this book. So you start looking at stuff. We did have a nutritionist come down at one point and he helped out of it. But yeah, we're hard. Start getting better towards the end, but at the beginning, really.
It's like Chinese whispers. No one really understood it in sport, do they? Especially at the lower levels.
And trying to drop weight and that as well. We didn't like water loading and stuff like that weren't really a thing that back then. It probably were.
Did you do like the bin bags and like out training, sweatsuits and stuff? Yeah,
we didn't know it was water loading back then. Started getting more towards and started. Like my mates, Davey helped me out a lot. So we nutritionists, he's nutritionists like towards end, so that was good.
It's almost down to a science now, though, isn't it? Like you get guys in the UFC. I mean, you don't really get those videos anymore of people like on death's door.
On sauna,
you just see them like hot towels around them, and you can just see that pain in their eyes as they're trying to make weight. Yeah. They're never going to perform well on the day. No. Do you know what I mean? It's such a poor way of doing it. And the UFC's been quite good in terms of trying to cut stuff like that out. And
they're doing in one championship. They're doing like hydration tests and stuff. Do you know? So they have to be a certain hydration.
That's right. Yeah. And you actually only allowed to rehydrate to a certain point, aren't you?
Yeah. So I don't know what others. That's the only one that I know does it at a minute, and there might be more. And
you're also not allowed to IV hydrate because you can actually slip certain things in there that might be a bit performance enhancing. Supplements. Speaking of that, was there anything that anyone was on? Anything that anyone was taking back in the day?
No, I don't think so. Cause I think again, it was like relatively like unknown. So much bodybuilding gyms obviously were known, but back then there wasn't really
something that was common knowledge.
No,
guys were taking things, or you wouldn't go to certain countries and like watch out for these lads like Polish or Russian. Like they're definitely on something.
They might have been, but like say it was relatively unknown because a lot of stuff would be hearsay, but. Don't know, like the slimming pills and stuff that in Thailand that they said people took, which were supposed to be like amphetamines, but again, I don't know if they were ever a thing or not. Because it was like relatively, like it weren't like could you just go online and look for stuff. So we rely on somebody telling you, and you tell someone else. So.
It's like most things. It's anything's more easily accessible nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, before we move on from the fighting stuff, I'd love to know maybe what the biggest challenges were. If any. I mean, I imagine just getting constantly hit from every angle by people whose job it is to do that is pretty challenging. But is there any standout moment where you were like, actually, if I overcome this is going to be the making of me?
No, just trying to get through training sessions when you're like hungry, tired. So it's like, I mean, people speak about motivation, don't they? But I think it's started to come up a little bit more relevant now, and you see people talking about things. But it's just that discipline of doing things. So you just do things if you didn't like it or not. I remember once waiting to go on. My mate Wes was like, "Cheer up," and I was like, "Shut up!" Big face. I'm like, he goes, "I don't want to be here," and he's going, "Oh, come on!" And then I think I said something silly like, "Because it takes more muscles to frown than just to smile," and I was frowning. I'm trying to burn calories. Then he was laughing. and it made the session a lot easier because he was like laughing and joking about, which were nice. Made it a lot nicer session, even though I didn't want to be there. I really want to be there.
I definitely get that from you. That humour's a big relief. Shall we say? It's a big relief. It gets you through tough stuff. Does, but I mean, you mentioned when you stopped fighting, you went straight to uni. What did you study?
Yeah, like college, new sports science and sports coaching. Yeah.
All right. What made you choose that? Did you just see maybe the love that you had for some of your coaches and thought, yeah?
Well, I was coaching Thai, and at first I wanted to learn more for myself because I wanted to like improve and get better, and so that's why I did like a sports-based course. And then because I was coaching, I wanted to do best for people that were coaching, so I thought I need to know a little bit more, get more knowledge about stuff, so that when I'm coaching someone, I'm doing the best job I can. And so that's kind of why I started doing it.
Fair. Where did career take you after that? Because I know where this is going, because we're building up to the highlight of your career when you met me. But
the long hair, you had to
lovely long hair. But yeah, what was that like when you were transitioning? Because obviously I mentioned in the intro, gym director as well. Like, how did all that come around?
Well, I think like some people like me plan their life and just go, right, this is what I'm going to do, and these are my aspirations, these are my goals. I'm not really like that. I just do stuff that's just like, well, I'll try this, see what happens. Like I said, didn't plan on competing, it was just our training. So I said, why don't you fight? I was like, I don't know about that. Then next thing I was fighting, I did alright. So I did another one, did alright. And then I did alright for the first few. Then I remember losing one and thinking, well, I can't stop on a loss, so I've got to do another one. And then I thought, I can't just do another one win, I've got to do it. So yeah, just end up carrying on. And then that was kind of same, because I did look at being a teacher. Because I was doing like supply teaching at the time, and for colleges I didn't mind doing it for colleges. I didn't particularly like schools, and I did a work placement at a school, and I just didn't like it. Yeah, I really didn't enjoy it. Days were long. I thought I can't do this like all the time. So then I didn't do that. So then I was speaking to one of my friends. He was like, "Might just go for it." So then opened up a gym, and from there it went on, and that was it.
What was that first gym you opened?
It were like a boxing, Thai, jiu-jitsu and MMA style gym with like a fitness thing underneath. And that was the first one that we opened.
What year was that?
2011, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah. And we did that for a while. Then got into fitness, started getting a little bit more. I started falling out of way, like boxing or Thai as much, because I was doing it a lot. I've been away a lot for like competitions. And I kind of fell out with it a little bit, so I kind of moved away from that and started doing more fitness stuff, and then just started missing it. So me and my friends started getting together, and we just all train together now.
Yeah,
so it's nice. Yeah,
that's cool. It sounds like a very like a career driven by like iteration, if you know what I mean. It's like, I'll try this and I'll try this. Oh, I enjoyed that, I'll try this.
Yeah,
I think if enough people go in with like a big grand master plan, like obviously what we do now, where people come to us with big goals and stuff, and we break it down.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a bit of a lost art at the minute. People just trying stuff and seeing where it takes them and looking where opportunities are.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did. Yeah,
which is.
I've never had this big grand plan. I like this. What I want to do. I'm going to do this, and like, let me see what happens. So I found fall into stuff. I think.
Yeah, I think that's where some of the best stories come from as well. If you just fall into stuff. Which probably brings me to, I suppose, when I first met you, which I remember getting good energy from you. I remember thinking like, I'm gonna get along with this guy.
We'll be stroking your shoulders that way.
Yeah, it worked.
Your long hair.
Yeah, probably. No, I just remember just thinking,
like Van Damme from Our Target did.
Did it?
I
have seen some old pictures of that.
Yeah. When I first met you, and I'm trying to think what song we're playing. Def
Leppard. Some sugar on me.
Pour some sugar on me.
Right.
Yeah. Dan must have heard it in slow motion, so I flicked my hair.
He did, yeah.
This is getting a bit homoerotic, so yeah.
Time slowed down.
Do you guys, you want to tell me something that's been going on behind the scenes? You got a relationship that goes beyond coaching?
We look too similar to. We'd be like opposites of Velcro. But no, and I don't know. I feel like I've learned a lot from you in terms of work ethic. Just trying to learn from just the love of coaching as well. I think I got that from you quite early. That you just love helping people and lighting up a mood with some sort of energy. It's like you knew how to just switch it on and switch it off. It's like, don't be so serious, like, we're going to go into this training session, but this is a group of people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, let's give them something to remember and to talk about and to tell their friends about.
That's it. I think that was right from my training, because training was always hard. But before that, everyone was always joking around, and then after it was like that. So you kind of have to, I think you see it a lot in like kind of like police and army and stuff like that. They have like firefighters, I guess, because they have that like kind of sense of humour, don't they, to get them through bad times. Obviously, it's nothing as like what they do, but just a little bit in our training session. But yeah, I think we did that humour just to try and get through it a little bit. So that's kind of what I try and carry on with coaching. And plus, sometimes people don't want to train, so you make it a nice experience for them, and I'm having a laugh, having a bit of fun. But before, during, or after the session, then kind of breaks it up. They might be like, oh, I'm dreading this session, but it's always nice. I always have fun. Or it's someone there, it's always with a smiley face, happy to see you.
Yeah, because that's a big passion of yours for sure, that customer service.
Some of the best coaches I know are the ones whose clients actually love spending time with them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can get the best coach with the most knowledge and has the most fantastic results. But if they're just like a bit robotic and not very personable,
that's
doesn't matter that the person's not going to enjoy that session.
No,
Because it's like, it's human nature. You're in the company of someone that you want to be around, and you know, we'll know as coaches, people open up to coaches, don't they, and tell people coaches a lot of things they don't tell the people in their lives. And you're only ever going to build that rapport and that relationship and that openness if you're sound. I've always said that about I think I've mentioned it a few times to you. Best quality in a coach is someone who's just sound, just dead sound. That's easy to get onto and knows the shit.
Whether you like kind of look after each other, right? Because if you start, I want best for that client, whoever I'm training with. So I try and put an effort into like make it a good experience for him, speak to him, make it a safe place so they can speak back, and they see that, so they want good for you as well. So it kind of works that you both like kind of looking after each other, which makes it a lot nicer experience.
I remember spending a month at your gym. So obviously the gym's sort of combined, and I was managing one gym, you're managing another. I remember just doing like a bit of a role swap. I remember being up at your gym for a month, and I thought, we'll do some digging here. I'll find out about Dan. I'll either get some dirt so I can wind him up, or just get a little temperature check, see what it's like. And everybody said really, really good stuff, and I'm like, okay, this guy's legit.
That's why.
apart from everyone said, oh, his jokes are shit, aren't they? I'm like, it's so bad.
Lying bastards, they're brilliant, them jokes.
It's I do enjoy sending you memes. It's like one of my favourite pastimes.
I know,
sending Dan memes.
Are you the beam guys? Is he the guy you send all the memes to?
As soon as I see some, I'm just like, I send that to him, not to them.
It's a select group in there where you're like, well, that's friendship group A. That's friendship group B.
That one, I'll keep that one to one side.
But yeah, I don't know, like I say, it just lightens the mood. I just like it. But and like, just to back up what Ryan said, I think being just a top lad just makes you a great coach anyway. And just, is there any philosophies that you took from the ring to your coaching sessions with anyone who you work with?
I just got like, I suppose when I'm like competing and stuff, I was just to try your best, just try hard, and that's what kind of I just try and do. Some days obviously a bit tired down, but just discipline, just get up and do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just writing down.
Just get up and do it anyway.
Needs to finish.
I think it's an Homelander quote, a Soldier Boy quote.
From the boys.
From the boys.
I knew you'd like the boys.
Do you know what I do if I'm sad or scared? Nothing, because I'm not a fucking pussy. So if you can't get up, just get up. Yeah. Just get up and do it. Yeah?
I knew
everyone has the down days, so fucking what? Get up and do it. Yeah.
I just knew you'd love that series. Have you watched The Boys yet?
I love Soldier
The Boys.
The Boys.
Is this the one on Amazon?
Yeah.
It's like if superheroes were real, and they're all just horrendous people, aren't they?
I watched the first couple, but never stuck with it.
Season 5 at the minute, isn't it?
The first episode opens out, and it's like some guy's kissing his missus, and some guy runs past her and obliterates her into a million pieces. And I'm like, this is a bit deep. It's a bit dark.
That's a theme, isn't it? Like every first episode of a new series gets worse than that.
Does it?
Season 3 is pretty bad.
Yeah. That's the worst one, that one, isn't it?
That's the worst one.
Okay.
It's pretty grim. So I recommend it, mate. It's good fun.
I can see why your dark humour's drawn to that.
It's good fun.
But you're just like, everyone has like downtimes, everyone's like struggling with stuff, and everyone's like just got the life going on. So if you're supposed to be a coach, it's like getting people to where they need to be, or just being a positive influence in someone's life. You can't be like moping about and whinging to them.
Well, I think it's knowing. Yeah, I think it's knowing where to take those frustrations as well. Like I remember when we were working together, and like mutual contact trials were like, look, you're not going to like everything that's going off. It is going to be tough. Like talk to each other. And you know, I think that were a cool bonding experience, like with you, because it would just, we both had similar views, and it was just nice to just know that we're a safe place to vent and just you know, make things better. But it's taking action for it as well. You didn't want to get wrapped up in your own head, your own thoughts. You just thought, if I can verbalize this, someone tell me it's not that bad, or like, you know, it's a bit of a perspective, little temperature check. Yeah,
but there's like sometimes you need advice. Lads most of the time need advice, and generally, I'm just being very generally, lasses sometimes, most times just need to vent. So like, I'll ask my missus, I'll be like, are we venting or are we getting advice? And she's just listen. Well, okay.
Yeah.
And then she just listen. It makes it a lot easier, because some people, sometimes you don't want someone to solve your problem. Sometimes they just want to have a bit of a bitch and then just go, oh, that's I'm all right now.
Yeah. I thought that might be a lesson for any males listening. So sometimes you just got to sit and listen.
Just ask. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. Just because when someone's, you know, when she's telling me something that's been going on at work or
you want to solve
situation, I start getting pen and paper out. Right, you're going to go in on Monday, and this is what you're going to say. It's like, no, I'm not going to say any of that. I'm like, well, why are you telling me that? Because I just want to tell you. I just want to get it off my chest. But we don't do that, do we? We don't go to them. We're not going to go to them and go, you won't believe what Brad said the other day. Oh my goodness me, let me tell you this. Like,
that shocks me, that.
Not yet, anyway. Not yet. But we just keep to ourselves, and when we tell people, I think, about our issues, when we really need some solid advice, or we need some help with something, practical help, rather than just an ear to listen. Men from Mars, women from Venus.
100%. How is family life at the minute? Are you
good.
Yeah, all good fun.
Yeah, there's oldest one's always getting better now, because she does more, she chats, you can like do stuff with her. Young one's still a bit crap.
How old's your eldest?
Young one's a bit crap.
She's already really like that. She's 3. Just over 3, yeah.
So eldest is 3.
Eldest is 3, youngest is 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't mess about then. Straight in.
You've got to, haven't you? Let's move, doctor. Come on, pal. Things to do, yeah.
Wow, fair play. I mean, you're one of 3, aren't you? Yeah. Have you got any siblings?
Yeah, sister.
What's the age difference between you two?
5 years.
5 years. So, yeah, I mean, even when the 5, you can kind of like help out a little bit. A 3-year-old's going to struggle to.
Yeah, but we were close.
2-year-old, I guess, when she was born. Yeah.
She's good though. She really likes sister, and she just trying to help out. But she likes helping out with stuff anyway. So she'll help you out cooking and stuff as well.
That's good. Well, we've just bought ours one of those little kind of step you can get that goes next to the counter. So she goes on desk, gets on the step, and does a little chopping board. She loves all that
stuff. So it's quite cool.
I think boys in the kitchen are completely different. We had to get Ted. Have you seen them like mesh gloves you can get? Ted's so chaotic in the kitchen. He does like Thor when he picks up axe and like slap. He's like doing that with like his little toy knives. I mean, they work, but they're quite blunt. They're just like jumping at chopping boards. Wow. Like, gee, honestly. But different beast.
That is a difference between girls and boys. I can give Harlow a full pack of mushrooms, and I can turn around and she chops them all into little 500 pieces. No mess. And she actually get upset if she's dropped them on the floor. She's like, Daddy, I've dropped one on the floor. Get it up quick. It's okay. I have to tell her about his 3-second rule. So she shouldn't have. So now it's like ultimate pressure every time she drops something. But yeah, it's fascinating that.
Ted's a bit like that. I said to him yesterday, just cuts up that cucumber. I said, just cut it up in like little circles. You know what to do. He just diced it. Nice. Just enjoy just chopping it up. I'm like, great, nice one. But yeah, I mean, family dynamics is fun. Can you see girls maybe getting into any sort of martial arts? Is that the
it's whatever they want to do? Yeah, we still do little bits. We all live, obviously, don't we? Younger one because she's still a little baby yet. Try, but
she's a bit crap still.
Yeah, a bit crap still. Yeah. There's a difference for like lads and lasses, isn't it? Like lasses, as soon as you have a kid, they've had that 9 months for having that kid, where you've got this stranger. Hi, all right, nice meeting you. And you have to have that your 9 months is outside at womb, where theirs is inside. So if you're a lad and you're having a kid, don't worry if you feel like you've got no bond to it when it's first born, because it does come. It just takes a few months for you to get to know that. that little person that's in your life now, little Jim that's running around.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. 'Cause so many people like probably internalize that, where they just feel like it's just a stranger in my house. It's like they're just a screaming person, like, and it does feel weird.
Yeah,
like
I think it's tricky for a dad over the first 6 months. Actually,
Yeah.
I found that because they've had this little bond. Obviously, it's been mum and baby while mum's growing the baby.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. Yeah.
And then when the baby comes out, baby just wants mum all the time, milk and feeds and crying and picking Harl up when she's like a tiny little baby, and she's scream, pass her back to Amy. Oh, now she's nice and chill.
Yeah.
She knows the smell, she knows that touch, she knows the warmth, and you feel a bit shunned almost to a certain degree. You're like, oh, it's a bit shit.
It's just a bit weird. You're right on the outskirts just to support.
Yeah, but then it does. There's a moment where it starts to turn a little bit, and they look at you a bit different and go, "You've been around a while now, haven't you? You've been older than me a little bit. Yeah, you're
not going away.
You're all right. Yeah. But yeah, blokes do feel that, and it's not a nice feeling because you kind of want to bond, you want to dive head first in. Yeah, but it's kind of
I was going you say because I was just going to say probably what you were going to say then. Yeah,
you kind of feel like you want to be that person in their life, and you want to build that relationship. But I think it's tricky for dad for sure.
Really, like your people said, oh yeah, I thought you were going to say this. Right? They go, I looked in, it looked so and I knew my life had changed. I fell in love. I'm like, fuck off. What a liar. You looked at it and thought I could walk away right now. Do you know? And it is very bad, but it's not that you're going to, but there's no like thing there, is there? And then after a while you're like, oh, actually they're alright, these. And when they get a little older and start talking, you're like, oh no, they're pretty cool.
I think it probably wasn't until about 18 months actually that I really felt like we really started to bond.
Yeah.
I was able to help out up until that 18 months, but then at 18 months something changed where they kind of want to spend time with you a bit more, and I feel like she's turning more into a daddy's girl now.
Start asking you stuff, don't they? Shouting you, so it makes it being a lot more nice then.
And she, for the first, I've literally since she was like 7, 8, 9 months old, I went downstairs in the gym trying to do little baby squats, and as soon as she was big enough to grab a kettlebell, we would do the kettlebells. But it was always me like pushing her and being like, "Come on, we're going to do this like together." Yeah. It's what I love, so you're going to love it as well, kind of thing. And then there was a moment last week where we got home, picked up from nursery, got back, and she never goes in the gym. Like it's where Dad works, right? So, but she opened the door and she had a little wander in. I was like, "What are you doing in there?" She goes, Can I lift those kettlebells? Can I have a look at those kettlebells? And I was like, this is it. She asked me, she wants to train with me. Oh my God, I'm waiting. It's happening. I says, you want to do some deadlifts, the kettlebell? She's like, yeah, why not? I was like, this is like, in like little moments where we're like, this is what I wait for. This is all those moments where I got shunned in the first 6 months. It's all been worth it for this moment. That was nice. That's really cool. But
they just copyright use it, don't they? So like, I'll take mine to go boxing. She doesn't really do much, but she'll go and mess about a little bit. She tries to do like some on bags, but she's not. It's just trying to get me involved in that environment, so it's not scary and it's just the norm. That's what we do. It's just the norm.
It's important they see you doing that as well.
It,
I think with the gym, like you haven't got like a big. I'm assuming you haven't got a bag at home or you haven't got anything like there or mitts and mats and stuff to roll around on. So you might be doing all that stuff, but they're not even seeing it.
Yeah,
they need to visually see you doing that stuff to normalise it. That's a big part of it. Because I think with gyms as well, people go to the gym and they expect their kid to be into the gym. They're not watching you do it. You've got to bring them along and do stuff like that with them.
We had go on, mate. Go on.
Have to.
You're the guest, mate.
No,
I won't be here all day, mate, if we keep passing the baton.
So some of his friends, they bring their kids as well, and it's just to bring the kids then. Can I have a go? Like, yeah. And that's it. It just starts from there. They do a little bit. Like, kids just get kids into doing it as long as they're being active. It's just good for them.
It is sweet with Ted at minute. Like, you heard of Jordan Syatt before?
No, I don't think you have.
I think he's Gary V's PT. That's how he sort of got to prominence. But anyway, he's got a kids YouTube channel called Coach J. Ted loves it. It's just these little like 10-15 minute workout videos, and it makes it really visual, really fun. And I trust Jordan because I know he is. And I'm like, look, let's put on a Coach J. And now he'll ask, he's like, can I do a Coach J this morning? I'm like, yeah, you can. And he's just, honestly, he's like my little shadow. And you do see this, like, obviously Ted's older than your kids, but it is weird when they just never want to leave your side. and he's just like a little shadow, which is sweet.
I feel like that with you as well now.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Is that why you wore black? It's like blended as my shadow. Just follow me around. But no, it's really sweet.
Joe Wicks is a bit like that for us. What's it called? What's that program on YouTube? Activators. Yeah. There was a big post on the way back from Medwall with him on it. Every time with Joe passed, she was like, let's do an Activate when we get back. And I'm not a big fan of Joe Wicks. I think he's a bit of a meltdown this year. But I do like his little YouTube videos because it's good. He's getting kids excited. She knows how to burpee, I'm pretty sure, just because she's watched him do it. She's learned how to squat and star jump and all this other stuff. So it's getting kids doing that stuff earlier. It's like an extra PE lesson. And we spoke, a whole episode, haven't we, about like schools and what they can do to kind of improve physical education and hold kids to a higher standard, but a lot of it does start from home. And if you've got someone on YouTube you can whack on, Coach Jay, Joe Wicks, and a few other people knocking around, then all this stuff is helping kids get into sport, be active. I
think the school system needs to be radically changed.
100%.
I think it's great at the minute, and by you speaking about being active and being healthy, then if you are, then your kids are more likely to be. Because they reckon like obesity is like a passed down thing, in it. Because if you see someone that's overweight, they tend to have kids that are overweight and stuff like that. So it's all about like how you are and your little kind of culture that you bring up. So if you're doing stuff, then your kids are more likely to do stuff. And kids just watch stuff.
Something like if you're obese or morbidly obese, your child's something like 65% likely to be obese as a kid. That's huge.
That is that is
huge.
Crazy
that's the diet that they're doing. It's like funny with like diets, people like on nutrition plans and whatnot. Diets like you're not controlling what people eat, you're controlling how they see stuff. And you'll see people, eating healthy is boring. Well, what's eating healthy to you? Do you know, it's not boring, it's some nice stuff.
What a lot of it is parents aren't pushy enough for this stuff either. I've seen a little bit with my missus recently. She's shown a little bit of weakness with Harlow when it comes to food, and I cooked some last night. We had sausages, mash, and we had some carrots with some swede, and she didn't want the carrots or swede, and I said, right, we've got to eat something because it's the veg. And then was like, come on, let her have her ice cream. She's got a rocket lolly downstairs. Come on, she's had enough. I said, no, she'll have him. She was like, I'm not having him. And we sat there back and forth. I said, right, let's have one spoonful of carrots and you can go and have a rocket lolly. Got one in. I'm like, right, that's just increased to 3 now. Let's have 3. And then all of a sudden, she's had like 5 spoonfuls of carrots. I'm like, she always would have had them. We're just not pushing it. You just got to give a little bit more. It's not nice enough because we both had long days. We've been at work. Last thing we want is this resistance at home. Trying to get my kid now to eat these carrots and it's headache. It's so easy for parents to go, just give her the rocket lolly, forget about the veg. You've just got to stand your ground a little bit and not be a...
They have massive meltdowns and all, don't they?
They have a meltdown, of course they do, but that's just part of being a parent. Stop giving in. Stop being a fucking pussy, basically. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to use horrible language, but I think parents need to grow a bit of... Some parents need to grow a bit of a fucking backbone and just be a bit firmer with the kids in terms of saying, no, you can't have that chocolate, you can't have that ice cream, you've got to have this if you want to have that.
Proper food first reset.
Yeah, 100%.
And do you know what? Give a reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're asking Ted, like, this has been really successful, by the way, just asking him on his plate, like, well, what's that and what's that do? And like, it's not obsessive like macro tracking or anything like that, but I'm like, well, what's that? He's like, well, that's protein. I'm like, what's protein do? It's like, well, it makes me strong. I'm like, yeah, it does. What's that? What's that mash? It's like, is that energy? I'm like, yeah, it's like you mean energy. So I'm like, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you it's a carb. And then we look at all colourful fruits and veg, and I'm like, what's that do? He went, stops me getting sick. And I'm like, just in 3 things. I'm like, what a lesson. And that just sort of come from me just asking him questions.
And it is something as simple as that. Like almost associating with like little white lies as well. Like, you can see in the dark if you have your carrots.
Santa's not coming if you don't.
When she has like peas and stuff, I'm like, your muscles will get nice and strong and big, like Dad's bigging myself up there.
No, that don't.
And like, little things.
I've seen his milk man. It's massive.
Twat. So and then when she has peas now, she puts her arms like, she goes, look, Dad, I'm growing. I'm like, perfect. She gets it. She knows it. She's understood it. Like, we've put something there in her brain that thinks, I need to have this now. There's a purpose to it. There's a reason. It's hard, and don't get me wrong, there's things that she, like, there's one thing, I can't remember what it was the other week, I made her eat it, and she literally regurgitated it straight back up. All right, fair enough, like I pushed you out there, do you know what I mean? But I'd rather she did that, and sticked it back up, and we're like, right, she definitely doesn't like cauliflower. But we won't push the cauliflower anymore. I'd rather she did that than say no to all veg, and she didn't like any veg, and she just has no veg, and that's the one thing we just never push on her. I'd rather she went through regurgitating some cauliflower to know that actually she loves carrots, she loves peas, she does like these things, we've just got to push it a bit more. I'm so passionate about it, as you can tell. My hands are flying now, as Brad says. But I think you've got to grow a bit of a backbone sometimes as a parent and just dig in a little bit.
If you're having like sweet stuff all the time, like sweets, chocolate, etc., if you have like your carrots, grapes, they don't taste as sweet as when you don't eat that as much. So carrots and grapes are like really sweet. It's just that you get used to having stuff that's super sweet. You don't realise the taste of actually what they are.
And I think to be, in all fairness, I think most parents will put it on the plate, and that for me is a fantastic start as well. That's a great way of parents saying, right, let's put it there in front of them and let's start that process. But you've got to be a bit firmer. My missus works at a school, and it's literally the most obese school in Sheffield, primary school. I won't name it and shame it, but yeah, it's like in that school, she will get kids that turn up with, for lunch, family-sized pack of Haribo, pack of Wotsits, and a can of Coke.
The trolley, weren't they?
Yeah, that's literally there, and it beggars belief. Big Roman Slovak community, not a massive push on like health, nutrition. Big push on actually being big as kids as well. Like their parents like their kids to be quite big. It's almost like a sign of like wealth in a weird way and stature. So they like their kids to be almost like a bit overweight. But yeah, I mean, that's the other end of the spectrum, right? Where those parents aren't really even bothered about like the nutrition and the food and the veggies. They're probably not even pushing it.
Yeah, but not in themselves. And I think with kids as well, I've only got two, so I'm not like wealth of experience here. But like our oldest, she likes like grapes, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, melon. She likes stuff like that. So we always put stuff like that on the plate, even if she has some really random mixes. So she might have that, but then she'll have like chicken or peas and stuff. But we know she likes that, and so we kind of group stuff together that she likes because we know she'll eat it.
Yeah. And we're the same. Like, there's certain foods we know are really good, nutritious, low UPF, good calorie dense foods that are actually going to be great for her.
Yeah.
And if that means that maybe she doesn't eat massive like pallets of stuff, let's just give her what we know she likes.
Yeah.
Again, sausage, a good quality sausage, some mash, and some veg. Actually, that'll go down.
And they do want the kids will eat sweet stuff because they're looking for high calorie stuff.
Yeah,
it's just we programmed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. My little one loves fruit. I think you mentioned Ted loves fruit as well. Like, that's something you've got to push. A lot of it does start from that really, really young age because they're no different to like anything else. Like, if you push it from a young age, they'll learn that I can't get away with not eating it. Whereas if they realise from a young age, if I just keep saying no, I'll get what I want eventually. It's programming that into them.
Yeah. And watching what you're eating as well. That's copies about that. What are you eating?
Yeah. 100%,
Can I try? Yeah.
100%,
So
100%.
sometimes we'll end up eating off the same plate because she's like, I don't like that. She says she don't like stuff when she says she don't want it. She says I don't like it. No matter what it is, it'll be like, I don't know, going out, I don't like that. It could be anything. But yeah, so you'll be eating something very similar. As might just not have like a sauce on it or something, and then she'll go, I want yours. You're like, okay, come on. So we eat together, and it's pretty much the same thing that she's eating. It's just because it's yours. And
she has exactly the same tea as us every single day. We would never cook something that we would like just because, and then cook her a completely different meal.
No,
that's
we
so
sometimes
common.
don't do a sauce on certain stuff because she's likes to try spaghetti instead of
spaghetti.
Right. So
we had like the bangers and mash yesterday, and I put like loads of onions on and gravy. She didn't particularly like that, so we just left it.
Yeah, that's it.
But they'll have exactly what we have. There's no difference.
She does,
but Amy tells me stories about some of her friends who'll get takeaways 2-3 times a week, but they'll cook their little one something different. And I'm like, but they're watching you have that. They're watching you eat those high calorie foods, and the chances are you've probably given them a little bit if they want it.
Definitely.
And I think that's again just setting a really poor example.
Going back to training though, like when people are in takeaways and then they say about gym price or PT prices. They're like, it's a bit expensive, that, I can't afford that. Even free takeaways a week, how much you reckon you're spending on that? That's like a fortune. Even if it's like what takeaways now, they're not.
No. Poor diets are expensive.
Not cheap.
Weighing over 20 stone is expensive.
It is, yeah.
It's really expensive.
But it's easy to get it ordered, turn to diet. The barrier right now is just so low. Whereas going at gym, there's friction there. Got to leave your house. It's hard work. Do you know what I mean? You got to go somewhere, spend time there.
Yeah. I actively say that to my clients. Like, the world is set up for you to fail food-wise now. It really is. Yeah. I don't really get much stuff delivered anymore. But there was a time a while back where I was particularly busy, and I got this bad habit of just ordering like on a Friday. I used to order Subway. And I was shocked out. I'd literally go on the app, I'd order it, put my phone down, just get on with a few little bits in the computer. And before I knew it was a knock at the door. Man, that can't be it. There's one time it literally was under 10 minutes. Under 10 minutes this Subway was at my front door. I was like, bloody hell. That when it's that quick, it's nuts. Absolutely nuts. How do you fight against that?
I know that's safe for us. Got to be more disciplined, don't you? I'm not going to do that. But a couple I'd say about that, booking a bit. For me, I don't like that stuff, like if I found something easy like that. Yeah. Or say if I were like stopping drinking or something, I wouldn't not have something else. So if I'm not eating crap, I still have it in house. Because I don't like the point that I can't not have it, if that makes sense. So I don't go and go, I can't have that. Me wanting it, I'm a bit like, stop being a pussy. You don't have to have it. Yeah. You can have it if you want, but you don't want to have it, so you don't have it. So then I walk away. Yeah. I'm not a person that's like, I can't have it now because I'll eat it all. Because if I eat it all, I'm just like, why were you so weak then? Like, why did you just succumb to that? Stop being a fanny. Like, just have one.
It's a bit like saying, if it's occupying space in your mind, it's a bit like saying, don't think you're a pink elephant. Yeah. Like, it's like, well, I can't have that chocolate. You're thinking about that chocolate. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
And
whereas if it's just there,
that's why I think choice of stuff. Yeah. You can do it. Yeah, I have to go to the gym, but I know sometimes I don't want to train, but I still go because I know I feel better after it. So I think there's that. But then what I'm going to say, there's a book called Naked Ape, and that's about like finding humans as a species and what we think they are. So the doctors rate it, like a zoologist doctor, I think it is. And he said, we found the species, we think it's a chimp, and he talks through it, but he speaks about like living in a zoo environment, in a wild environment. It's like you said, he said a zoo environment, it's like food's always readily available, which it is for us now. There's loads of people bunched together. That's why you probably see more mental health issues and stuff. He says we're in a wild environment, food can be plentiful, but it might not be as well. So you've got to actually actively go out and get it. But it's quite a good book to read, like about human behaviour and whatnot.
The what ape was it?
Naked Ape.
Naked Ape.
Okay. It's no book, but it's quite a good book.
Okay.
How he speaks about things and like speaks about human psychology and all sorts in it. So it's quite it's not a bad book to read.
If you are relatively new to nutrition and you want to really understand the value of it and what the impact it has on the body, and there's some fantastic books like that. The one I just read recently, what's it called? It's called Ultra Processed People. Yeah, fascinating book. It's a bit of a tricky one because he has hand-picked a few of the studies and there's a little bit of like nonsense going on there, but the general gist of it is like, we don't really understand how bad ultra-processed food is overall, but the facts and the science are pretty damning on it. Yeah. And it's still ongoing. There's still a lot of things, and it's one of those camps you sit in. Do you sit in the camp of like, well, it's affordable, it's a socio-economic issue as well, or do you sit in the camp of like, just do everything you can to cut it out? I think it's tricky with food, but I think the more you know, the better you do. That's what I've always found.
There's another amazing book called Sapiens, if you've read this before.
No.
And it talks about
Johann Hari, is it?
Yeah, that's man. And it talks about like the three main revolutions that have happened in humanity. And then right at the end of the book, I don't know if it's a second book called Homo Deus, which is like what we're predicted to evolve into next. And that's really interesting.
Aliens,
yeah. We're just time traveling aliens. That's all we are. There we go.
Yeah,
could be. You're not interested in that,
yeah? No. I think we've probably had some aliens come down, mess about with us, then left us, and this is why. Why do we like stuff like gold? Why is gold expensive? It's like, meet someone if you know out there.
There you go. We'll get you on Joe Rogan someday.
I'd love to go down the aliens chat. I feel like I can't open that can of worms. I can't open that can of worms.
I don't think we can today, but I mean, I know the answer to this, but what we're up to now, Dan? What's you've been a fighter, You've been, I want to say a scholar then. You've been studying.
Thanks, mate. Thank you, a scholar. Yeah,
a gym director. What's going on now? What are we up to?
Just pottering on through life, mate. Seeing what happens next.
All right. I know you've got your hands full at the moment, aren't you? Getting everything set up around.
Yeah, so getting a new site ready, going back to old kind of roots what we used to do before, which looking forward to, it'll be good. But yeah, so
it's a great space that.
Yeah,
it's a great space. One of my favourite spaces that to train in. It's got some good energy.
Yeah, it's across from a park and that as well, which is nice. Yeah.
What's this?
It's our old gym that we used to have. That we moved out because we were supposed to move into a bigger site, but then bigger site's still not being built.
Okay. What's the gym you want to open?
It's called the Yard. We're opening now. But it's where we used to be, and it's just upstairs. But it's going to be more like personal training, small group PT, and small classes. They're more structured, which is what we used to do before.
Right. Whereabouts is this location?
In Hillsborough.
Hillsborough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's not too far from where I live, so that's nice as well.
On the doorstep.
Road.
Yeah. Good.
There's still a big one as development houses, but yeah, we're just trying something new at the minute. Well, something new, something old and new, I guess.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Reinvented. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then just bringing up 2 children. Trying to support Mrs. So she's going back to uni again soon to finish her dissertation. She's got to go back for her last year. So yeah, just support her to get her through what she's doing there. I'm hoping that she'll step up and become a doctor so I can retire. But I'm not sure. It's a bit selfish, like. No, she's an ACP, so she's doing really well. I mean,
good.
Good. Yeah,
that's what I like to hear. Yeah. Dan, have you got any questions for me and Ryan? I always like to ask this when we get another coach on. Is there anything, I don't know, anything you want me and Ryan to do more to maybe support the fitness community, fitness industry as a whole?
Yeah, when does a shoe become a boot?
Very philosophical. When does a shoe become a boot?
No, I think, I don't know Ryan as much, but you do quite well. I think you look after people quite well.
We try.
Yeah.
We try.
You had a good mentor though, didn't you? No.
Is that what you call yourself? God. There we go.
No, I mean, like, you both got good energy, and it's like just trying to look after people. I said to PTs a lot that people are paying you probably more than they're getting paid an hour. So it's your job to do the best you can for them and make sure you provide a good service for them and be good for them. Yeah.
Don't take them for granted, for sure.
No.
Good advice. Yeah, amazing.
Sure. Dan, I know you're a bit of an enigma online. I know you're someone who's not very active on the socials, but if anyone does want to follow if anyone does want to follow along with work that you're doing, anything like that, where can they find?
I don't really go online that much. My thing is private and stuff. So
fair.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity, mate, to signpost anyone to any of your work endeavours if anyone wants to inquire or anything like that for any of the gyms at the Yard or anything like that.
Yeah, so if they want to have a look, they can do. But yeah, for social wise for me, I don't really go on that much. And then when I do go on, it's just to look for jokes.
It's just all memes.
And send other people.
All memes. But
yeah, I don't like going like your traditional ones that much.
Fair. Any final questions from you, Ryan?
No, it's that. Mate, thank you so much today.
No, thank you for
being so open, so candid at it all, and great to hear your story.
No, nice one. Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you, mate.
Awesome. Cheers, thank you for joining us on the Fitness Podcast. We'll see you in the next one.
See you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No worries.